The major focus of establishing IIC was to create a vibrant local innovation ecosystem and startup supporting mechanism in higher education institutes. It also prepares the institute for Atal ranking of institutions on innovation achievement framework and help to establish function ecosystem for scouting ideas and pre-incubation of ideas. Also, its focuses on developing a better cognitive ability among the students. In collaboration with this vision of IIC and the Ministry of Education, we have gathered here today for the session on achieving problem solution fit and problem market fit. Organized by the IIMT College of Management under the thrust area of validation and concept development. Before we begin with this session, I would like to introduce our resource person and guest for the day, Mr. Pankaj Rai. Mr. Pankaj Rai is an experienced Chief Executive Officer and MD with a demonstrated history of working in management consulting industry. He is skilled in negotiation, business planning, operation management, sales, and market research. He is a strong business development professional with Bachelor's of Technology focused in industrial engineering from Nagpur University and postgraduate in finance. Starting his career in 1997, Sir worked with institutes such as BSI and Moody, and driven by a strong need to start his own enterprise, he established his business Quality Austria Central Asia in 2010 and has not looked back since then. Quality Austria Central Asia Private Limited is one of the leading certification, industrial services, and training agency in the field of health, safety, environmental, and business quality. Having substantial experience and one of the best resources to carry out the services, QACA established to provide reliable services for the benefit of well-used customers in wide range of business institutions, industries, and projects to meet specific requirement and changing customer need. Since its establishment, QACA has been following a culture that values technical expertise and industrial safety. We are honored to have you here with us, sir. I extend my invitation to you to advance ahead with the session.
Much and good afternoon to everybody. So first of all, I would like to thank the management of IIMT for inviting me over here. I have not prepared any slide because I have seen that in 1 hour presentation, if you start showing slides, then it is more about slides than the content. So first of all, I'll share with my experience that today's industry is facing a lot of challenges. I'm not saying that these challenges were not there earlier, but considering the ongoing pandemic, considering the amount of hype created around the pandemic, the challenges has increased manyfold. And what it has done a huge impact on people. It has done a huge impact on the entire ecosystem. The topic today, what I understand, is achieving problem solution fit and product market fit is very relevant, because when we talk about industry, when we talk about any institution, problems are bound to be there. And you as budding managers, because you are going to be tomorrow's manager, one thing we all have to be very clear that once you get into an industrial climate, the problems are going to be there. Your ability to solve problems, your ability to accept that there are problems, and your ability to go to the next level will make you a real manager facing the corporate world. Everybody talks about having a very high degree of education, talks about people having initiative, people having drive, people having moral values, ethics, integrity. But as when I put myself at your position, people who are studying, people who are aspiring to go to the market, people who are aspiring to get into the business, one thing which is very important is to understand that how do we do it? Because everybody is giving so much of gyan, everybody is asking so much to do, where to go, what to do, what exactly are the things which is required for you to be able to counter the problems, the counter the challenges which you are going to face in time to come. It is my own creation. There are three things which makes a person unique to face any problem. Because as I said earlier, problems are going to be there. Rather, you will encounter more problems in coming days. The first and the foremost is our own setting in our mind, which has to be a default setting that if there are problems, we have to accept it. Many a times people are in denial mode, not accepting the problem, ignoring the problems, something which is very obvious, not accepting that as a real problem. So first and foremost thing is that creating a default setting in our mind that there are problems and we better accept it. And then trying to develop ourselves in a manner wherein we become either either of all the three that I'm going to tell you, or maybe combination of one or more, or maybe at least one. Because when you work for an industrial organization, you may encounter a lot of problems, you may encounter a lot of people, we may encounter processes, you may get to meet customers. But what is important is to develop your competencies on three parameters. The first one is deep understanding of people. Uh, and please mark my word, I am not saying understanding of people. Deep understanding of people. What does it mean? It means that when we are talking to somebody, we understand what is being said and we also understand what is not being said. And this can only happen when we have deep understanding of people's mind, how it works. You know, by and large, every individual, whether the person is educated or not educated, has got talent. And this talent is by birth. What you acquire in the subsequent phase of your life by studying, by having experience, by going through different kind of trainings is the skill set. But talent is something which is to be understood by all the batting managers. Once you understand talent, then you will appreciate that God has created 7.5 billion people, and all these 7.5 billion people are different. We have to appreciate that people are different. And once we start appreciating people are different, we should also know the science behind it. So there is a science behind it, how people are different. People are different because of the different kind of talents they bring on table. Like I said earlier, each individual with whom we are interacting or going to interact is talented. And it has nothing to do with education. With the education, with the experience, with the training, you only become more competent. You only acquire more skills. So the talent is basically of three types. The first talent is called striving talent. Striving talent means people get up in the morning, they have energy to do, they are not bothered whether there is a cold or there is a cold wave going on, there is a sun. They are not bothered about all these things. They get up in the morning and they want to be recognized, they want to be measured on number, they are good at numbers, they are raring to go. They are the people with very high amount of energy, and that is how these people are built up. The second category of people are people with thinking talent. They get up in the morning, they go to work. This set of people may not exhibit the kind of energy what striving talent people do, but they have a thinking mind. And they keep on thinking about issues, about processes, and that is what they do. And the third category of people is thinking people, thinking talent. The first one is striving, second one is thinking. And I'm sorry, the third one is relating talent. People, if you look at this set of people, they always want to build relationship. They want to talk to people. They want to communicate. They want to know you. They want to communicate. There are people you may remember. There are people who are good at wishing you every day morning, saying good morning. They remember your birthdays. They remember your anniversaries. They greet you on Diwali. They greet you on Holi. They greet you on New Year. What does it mean? They do it. Why they do it? They do it because some of them have a very high degree of relating talent, and this talent force them to get validated on this particular talent, and they are in touch with people. So human beings are categorized into three broad talent categories. Let me also clarify that none of this talent category is superior to other. All these talent categories are equally important. What is important is for you to understand people, to have to develop deep understanding of people. When you meet somebody, you should understand that what kind of person is this. Some people will be having a very high degree of striving talent. Some people will be having high degree of relating talent. Some people will be having high degree of thinking talent. All the three talent categories are equally important. And human being, if you look at human being, they will be combination of all the three categories: bit of striving, bit of thinking, bit of relating. But one category will be dominant. Category of talent will be predominant in their personality, and that is how they are recognized. That is what you have to look at people. Some people who exhibit a lot of energy and come to you, they are very warm, they are forthcoming, they are full of initiative, maybe because they have very high degree of striving talent, thinking talent, relating talent. Why I'm telling you all the three talent categories? Because I want you to understand that you as a budding manager has to develop deep understanding of people. 7 point manager to differentiate or to discriminate people based on our likes and dislikes. People themselves are different because they possesses different set of talent. Now I'm sure that you have already decided your career into different field. But if you read this book which talks about talent categories, different strokes for different folks, they recommend that which talent category is suitable for which kind of job. So for example, someone who is good and who is having a lot of striving talent, they are the people who are good for sales and marketing, because they have energy. And let me tell you again, let me remind you again, none of the talent categories are superior to other. It's all equal, it's all common. And for an organization, you need all kind of people. So the first category is striving talent. If you have if you have people with whom you meet and you see that very high degree of energy is there, these are the people who are suitable for sales marketing. They are not worried about being measured on numbers. They get up in the morning, they are raring to go. They want to go to office, they want to meet, they want to participate in reviews. They are there. The second set of people who are thinking talent are the people who are best suited for marketing, research, design, development, these kind of activities. Because their mind is all the time thinking. It's not that somebody who has a thinking talent will not have a striving talent. As I said earlier, everybody will have some part of talent in their personality, but one talent category will be predominant. The third category is relating talent, are the people who are very good in terms of making relationship. These set of people are good in HR, administration, vendor development, licensing, counseling, because they know how to build relationship. They know the how to decode a person's overall personality. So the first thing that I wanted to tell you is that to counter any problem, we have to develop deep understanding of people. The second point is deep understanding of client's requirement. I we are running an organization with 1500 people with more than 2000 clients. If you ask me what is my biggest problem, my biggest problem is that we do not have people who understands client's requirement. Please note, I am not saying that people are not competent. It's just that understanding client's requirement itself is a huge plan. It's a huge task. And why it is a huge task? Because client themselves are not able to tell their requirement. So what is the way out? The way out is that we develop ourselves at a position where we understand what is being said, and we also understand what requirement is not being told by the client. And I'm sure you all have read about stated and implied need, which is also called explicit and implicit needs. I'm sure you all have read that. So developing yourself to a position where you understand what is being said and what is not being said will develop you as having a deep understanding of customers' requirement. Most of the problems in industry today is because we do not have people to understand customers' requirement. And I know this word customer requirement, customer satisfaction, implies motivation. All these words have been used so many times that it has lost its meaning. People have overused, misused, abused these words, but the problem remains there itself: understanding customers requirement. Who understand customer requirement? The reason is customers are not competent enough, because customers are also product of this ecosystem. They are not good enough in terms of articulating their requirement. They say something, they mean something. Now we cannot change our customer. So the problem is that we do not understand customer requirement. We cannot say the problem is that customers are not competent to articulate their problems. And that is the huge change of mindset that is needed. We have two options. One is saying that our customers are not competent to articulate their requirement, and we go nowhere because we don't have any control mostly on our clients. Or we define that we do not have people who understand customer requirement. So deep understanding of customer requirement, very, very important point. I'm sorry. And the third one is deep understanding of process. Deep understanding of process. What does it mean? It means the moment some job is assigned to you, you must look at the end. You must look at the deliverable. You must look at the idea of breaking that job into small activities. Like I have to go to, for example, Connaught Place, and I am based at sector 132 Noida, and I know that I have to reach Connaught Place by 4 o'clock, for example. Now this is a job that I have to accomplish. I have to reach Connaught Place by 4 o'clock. I'm taking a very vague and maybe simple example just to make points clear. Now some people will start believing that they will reach Connaught Place at 4 o'clock, whereas some people will start breaking down this particular job into small actions, and their mind will start thinking, oh, so I have to reach 4 o'clock to Connaught Place. That means I have to start at 3 o'clock from sector 132 Noida. Then how do I go? I'll choose bus, I'll choose train, I'll choose scooter, two-wheeler, car, what exactly I'll use. Some people will also challenge why the hell I'm going to a Connaught Place. Some people will go even one step further. They will ask what I'm going to achieve there. Some people will go further up. They will ask, by going to Connaught Place, what value I am adding to my organization, what value I am adding to myself. So developing huge understanding of process, because the process, like human being, also interact with you. By not interacting with the process will only increase the problems that we have. Like I said earlier, industrial climate is full of problems that we also term as a challenge. And by developing these three attributes, one, deep understanding of people, deep understanding of process, and deep understanding of customer requirement, we can take care of majority of the problems. Now, the question is, how do we do it? Because if there are problems, there will also be dissatisfaction. How many of you feel that if a client is not satisfied, that means the client is dissatisfied? Can anybody answer this question?
Sir, the students are on muted side, so they would ask the question right now. They would type the question in chat box and we will let you know, sir. So please, you can continue, sir.
Okay. So this understanding is very important. The understanding between having a satisfied client, because like I said earlier, this also is a buzzword, achieving customer satisfaction. Because we all believe that if there are problems, customers will be dissatisfied. Actually, it is not true. Because if we are working in an industrial climate, problems are bound to be there. It's our own ability, how do we deal with the problems, will make customers satisfied and dissatisfied. If a customer is not satisfied, that doesn't mean customer is dissatisfied. And this is a huge concept that I would like you to understand. If customer is not satisfied, that doesn't mean customer is dissatisfied. And I give you an example again. Suppose one of you has to go to Mumbai and you have a flight at 5 o'clock. You reach airport at 4 o'clock and you are told that flight is cancelled. You are satisfied or dissatisfied? I'm sure that you are dissatisfied. Now, in the same case, before you leave your house at around 1 o'clock, you get a SMS that your flight is dissatisfied, your flight is cancelled. It is not going today. You are satisfied or dissatisfied? You are dissatisfied. But again, the degree of dissatisfaction has gone down. In this third case, you reach to airport at 4 o'clock. You are told that your flight is cancelled. You have another flight at 7 o'clock. Here is the revised ticket, revised boarding pass, refreshment coupon, some compensation. Again, you are dissatisfied, but the degree again changes. So it's a very important concept to understand that when we are working in an organization, in an industry where you have multiple clients and clients themselves are not equipped enough, good enough, aware enough to tell their requirement, to articulate their requirement, you may have a satisfied client, you may not have a satisfied client. But your ability to respond, your ability to respond in a timely manner will only make your client satisfied and dissatisfied. Because clients will always be demanding, clients will always be coming to you with requirements, which is stated, which is not stated, sometimes explicit, sometimes implicit. We have to develop ourselves to understand their requirement. Now, how do we do it? There's a concept called abundance of mind. You know, people who deal with the problem, there are two set of people broadly. Like I said, there are three kind of talent. Broadly, there are two set of mindset that is available today. And you all are budding managers, you will understand once you be part of any organization. One is abundance mindset, and second one is mindset which is driven by scarcity. Abundance mindset is what? They are always solution oriented. They're always very positive. They always have plan A, B, C for doing an activity. They are not bothered about problems. They know that the problems are bound to come. They are always responsive in terms of responding to the customers. They never blame things which are not under their control. They don't talk about political system not being good. They don't talk about jam on road. They don't talk about, I mean, they talk about it, but they don't waste their time in unnecessary things like, you know, the AQI level is very high. Aajkal to thand bahut pad rahi hai. The roads are jam. Political system, I don't know who is winning in UP, who is winning in India. Abundance of mind means they are always focused, always looking at the solution. And the scarcity mindset, the another mindset is what? They are always blaming situations for not doing things. They will have problems with the customer. They will have problems with the peer group. They will have problem with the system. They will have problems with the society. They will have problems with the college. They will have problems everywhere. And they all have reasons for not doing things because of problems which are not under their control. Now, this is a philosophy, and I know that saying it is easier than implementing. How do you do it? So my suggestion is that, you know, you have to read number of books. You have to be in a frame of mind where you believe that you develop inclusivity. And inclusivity is what? Inclusivity, there can be n number of definitions, but for me, inclusivity is to develop yourself when you say that I am right and you may also be right. What we have generally, that either I am right or you are wrong. That is not inclusivity. If we develop inclusivity, we will be able to focus the problem, we will be able to identify problems. And this can be done. This can be done by there are n number of ways, and I'm sure you all know it. But let me tell you what is the best way of doing it. One simplest way of developing inclusivity is to get surrounded by people who are better than you. I tell you, this alone is a huge differentiating factor among various people that I have seen. Because your life, your professional career, your managerial journey will depend on how you develop yourself. Your development, some part of development will be done by your parents, the siblings, your family, near dear friends. They will play a role. But the majority part of development, professional development, will also depend on what kind of people you have around you. So my suggestion is that, you know, a lot of people make this mistake of getting surrounded with the people whom they like, and we like people who are like us, who are our own clones. The way I think, if I like BJP, I will like to surrounded by people who are like BJP. If I like SP, I will do that. If so, It happens that we get surrounded by people whom we like, and then the easiest way of development we miss out, that is getting surrounded by people who are better than us. Because it is impossible to understand and learn all the values, all the tricks of life by our family. Sometimes not everything from parents also. They may not be equipped. They may be, they may not be. So ultimately, we have to take it from the society, and the best way is getting surrounded by people who are better than us. Now, at the organization place, the people who are not able to identify problems and not able to respond in a timely manner, there are set of people. When you work for an organization, you have people who come to office, and they want to be evaluated based on the timely manner they come to office, the discipline, the so-called integrity, the loyalty. But the professional industrial world is very different, very, very different, and unfortunately very cruel also. All these things are given. There is no additional significant reward for these attributes which are given, which are actually taken for granted, that yes, if you are working for the organization, all these attributes you will have. What is differentiating factor is the result that you produce. And let me again confess one thing, that like I told you in the beginning, in my organization there are 1500 people. We have all the big customers in India, what you can name, right from Maruti to Mahindra to Tata Motors, Airtel, Vodafone, Idea, Patanjali, Jindal, IOCL, BPCL, HPC, all the big clients, Fortune 500 clients may say, we have around 141 clients in India and worldwide who have base in India. And I said you in the beginning that the biggest problem we have, we don't have people who understand client requirement. The second biggest problem we have is people do not know how to move up in the value chain. So what happens if you are not moving up in the value chain with the client or any relationship? Because client doesn't mean external client, it also means the internal client, because all of you may not get an opportunity to interact with the external client. Many of you will have internal client to deal with. So if you are not moving up in the value chain with the client, that will also bring a client who is dissatisfied, because any service that you provide to your client, any product that you design for your client will be a novelty in the beginning, but will become a run of a mill product after some time. Some of you, I'm sure, none of you rather, but some of faculty members may be of my age, and at our age, having remote operated TV was a big luxury. Now, can we think about it? Having a having a having a having a television without remote, having a fan without remote, having a refrigerator without the digital display. So all these things have changed, and with the change, it has brought a lot of pressure on the budding managers, because people have to change. The good part is that young people of your generation are very smart, and they are the future, because they have the maximum flexibility. Why I'm saying this? Because flexibility is the key, because flexibility brings adaptability, and adaptability will only drive change. So coming back to the topic, the three mindset which is there in an organization. The first mindset is you go to the work and you see things happening at the workplace. Every day going to the workplace, seeing that things are happening and feeling happy. Sometimes feeling that it is happening because of me. The second category is going to the workplace and surprised, getting surprised to see how work is happening. अरे आज ये भी हो रहा है. अच्छा अच्छा, आज ये एक आईआईसी के साथ आईएमटी ने एक क्लास किया था, सेशन ऑन अचीविंग प्रॉब्लम सॉल्यूशन फिट फॉर प्रोडक्ट मार्केट फिट. आज ये भी हुआ था. आई डिड नॉट नो, नोबडी टोल्ड मी. Was it from 1 to 2? I did not see my mail. I was not aware. I was not invited. I could not log in. There was a network issue. But getting surprised with what is happening around us. And the third set of people making things happen. Why I'm telling you all this is, it is so very important for budding managers like you to understand that industry has a huge requirement of young people. But young people who are ready to make difference, young people who can make things happen, not set up people who are seeing things happening in the organization or getting surprised with what is happening in the organization. The last category, that is making things happen. To do that, you have to be really competent. And competency doesn't come in one day. It has to be pursued, it has to be acquired. It is a long process which has to be done. Now, one more issue of having problem and attacking to the problem is developing a mindset which is structured mindset. Because many a times when we encounter problems, for example, there is a customer complaint related to my product. Now, if I do not know the science behind it, I will not be able to solve it. What I will be able to do it, because if there is a problem, I must know what is the root cause. I must know how I am going to eliminate this problem forever. To do this, we have to understand the science behind this problem, because problem is happening because there is a non-conformity. There is a problem in the product or the service. So unless we do the root cause analysis, we will not be able to eliminate the causes of non-conformity. Lot of people, lot of managers do not understand the difference between containment action and corrective action. What industry needs is people with corrective action mindset. By and large, what we have currently is people with the containment action. And what is the difference? Containment action is something which I am doing on an ad hoc basis. For example, if I have a fever and I take paracetamol, that's a correction. I again have fever, I again take paracetamol, correction. What is needed to solve a problem is a corrective action mindset. Because once you take corrective action, what is corrective action? Correction is action taken based on the problem to mitigate the problem temporarily. And corrective action is actions taken to find out the root causes which are creating that problem, to eliminate the causes so that the recurrence is prevented. So if I again have fever, the mindset is that I go and see a doctor, I get my investigation done. Doctor comes out with a diagnosis that I have malaria, for example. and then I start taking that medicine and the problem is cured forever. So that kind of mindset is also to be developed, which is based on science, that is corrective action and the difference between correction and corrective action. The next attribute which is very important in terms of problem solving is conflict management. You know, many a times what we have seen that, and the industry is having a problem, having people who are good at resolution conflicts. Because if you have problems, if you have any complaint, if you have any dissatisfaction coming from the client, you will always have two set of people. One believing that there is a problem and one being defensive that there is no problem. So what is needed is to balance it out, to have people who are good at managing the conflicts. Human being nature by and large is a mindset wherein we don't want to get into conflict. And lot of organizations have huge amount of unproductivity because we have managers, we have people who are not good at solving conflicts. Why? Because they want to balance it out. So one peer, we are working in a group, there are 10 people in the peer group, there is no communication happening, or there is very least amount of communication happening. There are conflicts, there are disagreement, but we are not resolving that. We are only accommodating those conflicts at the cost of organization. Because who is suffering by and large? It is the organization which suffers. So conflict management is also one area which is to be mastered by budding managers, by appreciating that once we work in a group, there are going to be conflicts, and conflict can only be managed by understanding the human behavior that is based on ego. I'm sure that you all know about ego. A lot of times we have conflicts because of ego. And if you understand that we all have egos, then it will be better able to solve. So this is the last from my side. Let me explain you how ego comes in between in terms of solving the conflicts. Again, like I told you, human being has got three set of talent categories. Human being have got three set of egos. The first one is child ego. Child ego doesn't mean that it will be there only in a child. It can come to a matured person, it can come to a grown-up person also. And many times we get confused between self-esteem and ego, and we start fighting or start having conflict on very minor issues at the cost of the organization, and that is called child ego, where people are not talking facts, where we are more emotional, more in terms of past perceptions, and not having any concrete data to support our conflict resolution. The second one is the uh, the uh, the adult ego, which is the most desirable ego at the workplace. Adult ego is always always very calm, always come out with the facts, always ready with their data to support their emotion. And they know that if there are conflicts, it can only be resolved by communication. If you communicate with a person, you can resolve any conflict. And the third one is called, we are calling mothering ego. Once you join an organization, you will see that a lot of people coming to you and saying that मैं हूं यहाँ पे ना, I'll take care of you, don't worry about it, any problem come to me. If you have any issues, come to me, I'll take care of this. But all this put together creates a situation wherein you are not able to see the problem in totality if you do not know which kind of ego we are in. And let me tell you, it is not difficult. The moment we start working with people, because the biggest challenge in terms of problem solving by human being is our own likes and dislikes. And I know it is not easy. The challenge is the moment we meet someone, we start making impressions. We believe that the person is good or bad based on anything. That could be based on, the regional bias, could be caste bias, could be anything, could be gender bias, could be anything. But that alone is the biggest block in terms of identifying people. And to solve a problem, what industries are facing, my one advice, if I have to give you one advice, I know I have already given many, but one advice if I have to give you, appreciate that people are different. And rather than saying that this person is not good, you can always believe that this person is not like me. I am different, this person is different. Understanding this is the core of understanding the problem and solving the problem. Because what kind of problems you will have in industry, that nobody can forecast. I have been working, though Ela told me that I am working since 1997, but actually I am working since 1990. And I do not know how many problems so far I have faced. I do not know how many problems I am going to face in future, because problems are in abundance. Huge amount of problems are there. Problems are not there only when I do not have capability to see it. Otherwise, problems are there in abundance. What is in my hand is to develop myself, is to develop the organization. That is called resilience. The individual resilience and organizational resilience. Resilience is a very powerful word. Very powerful word. Because the problems are not under my control. What is under my control is my own professional resilience. The organizational resilience, because once individuals develop professional resilience, you will develop organizational resilience. How you can develop professional resilience? By making sure that you guys have come to IIMT for pursuing your management degree. I'm sure none of you 5 years back wanted to come to IIMT. Some of you wanted to go to IIM. Some of you must be wanted to go to XLRI, maybe other premier institutes. Now you have come to IIMT, which is also a premier institute. Now not getting best out of it will not make you resilient. So having a situational analysis about what is happening around me will make me resilient and will develop me as a person with lot of resilience. And I have seen this because we are interacting with so many colleges, mostly private colleges. The biggest challenge that we have is people at these places are not happy. And why they are not happy? Because they are not having self realization. Self realization means full understanding of what is happening around me and getting maximum out of it. So it is very, very important to understand that in this situation, in the kind of situation where we are in, how to get best out of it. Developing organizational resilience is the key. And there are organizations, you must have heard, they are highly resilient in terms of dealing with the changes which is happening, dealing with the problems they have. Why? Because they have people who are resilient. So my advice to all of you is to develop your resilience, and that can easily happen if you practice one thing that I shared with you, that is getting surrounded by people. who are better than you. They must bring additional competencies, and that makes life fun because you are not putting any effort. You have friends around you who are better than you. Somebody is better than one subject, somebody is better than another subject, somebody is better in having political knowledge, somebody is more scientific, somebody is more artistic, somebody is having more knowledge about sports. So you are surrounded by people who are bringing lot of additional competencies, additional knowledge, and that is transferred to you without making any effort. So good. Thank you very much. And thanks once again to the management of IIMT for inviting me over here. It's very, it's pity that we are interacting on online mode. I would have loved to come to your campus and address all of you uh, on an offline mode. But this is what maximum we could do. So thank you very much and wish you all the best. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
I request the participants, if they have any question, they can ask the questions.
Yeah, they can chat only, so they can write the question in chat box, and we will pass on the question to the speaker.
Right, sir.
Sure.
Sir, I have seen your the complete conversation, and it was the perfect combination of the a corporate house people and the faculty. You have the quality of both. How can simplify the complicated subject, and how can I deliver the subject, and how can I connect with the audience? You had have all the qualities within you, and I have seen first time in the people those who are having the corporate exposure and have the faculties qualities too, and can connect with the students. So I have listened the whole program of yours with absolute uh, uh, conciseness, and I found it very interesting. And
Thank you.
Ela,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I, on behalf of IIMT College of Management, would like to extend my vote of thanks to everyone present for their involvement and their willingness to take on the successful completion of today's session beyond their comfort zone. A big thank you to Mr. Pankaj Rai for sharing his opinions and thoughts with us today. We at IIMT College of Management would like to acknowledge our gratitude to you, sir. I
Thank you
would
very
also
much.
like to thank the entire fraternity of IIMT College of Management. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues at IIMT College of Management who know their job and are result oriented. Thank you very much, everybody. With this, we conclude our session. Thank you very much and stay safe.
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much. Thanks a lot.